thousands to be free. He walked with the gods and dwelled with those who played gods. He is an icon of hope for the young generation in activism. He graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife in 2017. Sanyo Olujuwon is a rights activist and writer. He walks where angels cannot tread. He has been in the forefront of the fight against systemic injustice in Nigeria for more than a decade, the struggle which has earned him suspensions and rustications from the university. He has been arrested on several occasions by the security operatives in Lagos and Abuja for marching on the streets to demand for a better society. When justice becomes law, resistance becomes duty, and that is the watchword for the young man behind the storm. He has led protests in different campuses across the country against repression and oppression. He confronted the former governor of Ogun State.
In today. We are university students.
Ibikunle Amosun over poor and dilapidated infrastructure on the campus. Also, he took the former governor of Oyo State to the cleaner.
It will shock you to know that the government has not funded LAUTECH for the past 22 months.
What course are you doing?
Late Abiola Ajimobi over the closure of Ladoke Akintola University, Ogbomoso, for several years. He was at the front line during the EndSARS protest in October 2020. He was arrested on February 13, 2021 in Lagos during Occupy Lekki Tollgate protests. He was tortured, stripped naked and humiliated like a common criminal alongside the popular comedian Mr. Macaroni. In this interview, the rights crusader shares his experience on what he went through in the hands of the Nigerian police.
Yes, we are the first set of protesters that kick-started the protests at the Occupy Lekki Tollgate protests. We all saw how we were dehumanized. The moment the police cited us together with our trucks with which we've come to protest, they descended on us violently with their guns. By the time I and a number of persons were dragged to the truck, they started hitting me with iron. As the very long and thick iron. They were hitting all parts, all the joints of my body, despite being just at the back of the truck. There was even one of them who, while if one of his colleagues was hitting me with the iron at other parts of my joints, he focused particularly on my head with a very thick wood, hitting me repeatedly with it.
It is better to protest than to accept injustice. Undergrowing calls for another round of the protest tagged #OccupyNigeria Season 2. The activists said EndSARS will be a tip of the iceberg.
SARS protest was more or less like a test run. It showed that Nigerian people were indeed capable of revolution. And with the warnings given by EndSARS and the fact that the Nigerian government have chosen completely all the demands of the EndSARS protest has fallen into deaf ears, if at all they were ears to have listened to them. As you can see, police brutality has continued unabated. The Nigerian state has lost the entire country to the rule of kidnappers, bandits, and terrorists. Nowhere is safe anymore, whether you talk about the north and the south. The Nigerian people haven't been more poorer than they are now. And you have a situation where oil marketers are threatening to increase price of oil to 195. There can never be a perfect situation for an Occupy Nigeria than now.
He talks about the driving force and motivation to speak the truth to power, even despite the vilification and persecution by the security agents and Nigerian government.
Protesting for rights because the Nigerian state does not have respect for human lives, anymore. But despite all of the dangers associated with always coming to the streets of Nigeria demanding bad governance, I've always found my motivation, in the words of this man, Frantz Fanon. This fans found that every generation out of relative obscurity discovers its mission. It is either you fulfill this mission or you betray it. And for us and for me, my mission as an individual is clearly spelled right in front of me. We have injustice everywhere. We grew up practically in the atmosphere of injustice. I particularly grew up in the atmosphere of injustice, and uh, and for me, I strongly believe this should not continue. And we are in a situation where every voice matters in the defense of collective ideals.